Helping the community through the sciences is very fulfilling. But we were not just exposed to that. We were also exposed to the social sciences, from political science to psychology, and all of these concepts helped shape our mindsets to become better citizens. In fact,
the College of Social Sciences articulates and addresses global challenges. The college offers comprehensive and appealing programs for high school, undergraduate, and graduate students. The Master of Education program is a non-thesis graduate program designed for graduates of the Bachelor of Elementary Education or Bachelor of Secondary Education who want to pursue their professional preparation through future studies in areas relevant to teacher education.
And of course, there were also budding business leaders in campus. They were the ones who had the nose for business but had the big heart to be of service.
Under the School of Management, students are not only taught to be decision makers, but the forerunners in marketing and finance. It also hones those interested in further studies of this field through its Master's in Business Administration program.
Today, I am now a practicing broadcast journalist, an opinion columnist, an entrepreneur, a teacher, a better person, really. All of this because of my training and experience at UP Cebu.
Nurtured to create, inspired to innovate, destined to serve. We at the University of the Philippines Cebu are driven by academic and operational excellence.
And that's it. Thank you so much for joining this virtual tour. I'm so happy you took part. Oh, look, Sean! A lot of people are tuning in.
But the tour is over.
Well, we'll just do it again.
Ready when you are, Annie.
Reinitiate virtual tour.
Initiating virtual tour.
And we are live!
Actually, this is pre-recorded.
Hello there! You made it! Welcome to the virtual tour of the University of the Philippines Cebu. I'm Annie, and I am a proud alumna of UP Cebu. And between just you and me, I had the best 4 years here in UP Cebu. I came from the College of Communication, Arts, and Design, where we did not learn only the basics in journalism and other communication components, but they also taught us how to become relevant.
You only have one viewer.
My college is also home to the Fabrication Laboratory, where people meet and converge to use different equipment where they can fabricate things, stuff for the advancement of industrial and product design. All of this comes from the creativity of the Fine Arts program itself. Hey, Sean, why don't you tell them more about the Fine Arts program?
The Fine Arts program itself, founded in 1975, is the pioneer formal school in the fine arts outside the national capital. The college is also the host to nearly half a century-old annual painting competition, Jose Joya Awards, in honor of the famous national artist Jose Joya, and from whom UP Cebu's Jose Joya Gallery was named after.
As the campus of the premier university here in the Visayas, we have to be good. No, we have to be better, or even we have to be the best, not only in the humanities, but even in the sciences as well. Isn't that right, Sean?
That's right, Annie. In 2014, UP Cebu Senvi, or the Central Visayas Center for Environmental Informatics, came up with high-resolution maps using LiDAR technology. The use of this technology by UP Cebu Senvi provided government agencies with accurate data for more precise community flood risk assessment and management. This helped local government units make informed decisions based on data science and, in the process, maximizing their financial resource utilization. And in the case of the Naga Cebu landslide of 2018, UP Cebu Senvi's use of LiDAR technology allowed for one of the fastest search and retrieval operations in a disaster in the Visayas.
Helping the community through the sciences is very fulfilling. But we were not just exposed to that. We were also exposed to the social sciences, from political science to psychology, and all of these concepts helped shape our mindsets to become better citizens. In fact,
the College of Social Sciences articulates and addresses global challenges. The college offers comprehensive and appealing programs for high school, undergraduate, and graduate students. The Master of Education program is a non-thesis graduate program designed for graduates of the Bachelor of Elementary Education or Bachelor of Secondary Education who want to pursue their professional preparation through future studies in areas relevant to teacher education.
And of course, there were also budding business leaders in campus. They were the ones who had the nose for business but had the big heart to be of service.
Under the School of Management, students are not only taught to be decision makers, but the forerunners in marketing and finance. It also hones those interested in further studies of this field through its Masters in Business Administration program.
Today, I am now a practicing broadcast journalist, an opinion columnist, an entrepreneur, a teacher, a better person, really. All of this because of my training and experience at UP Cebu.
Nurtured to create, inspired to innovate, destined to serve. We at the University of the Philippines Cebu are driven by academic and operational excellence.
And that's it. Thank you so much for joining this virtual tour. I'm so happy you took part. Oh, look, Sean, a lot of people are tuning in.
But the tour is over.
Well, we'll just do it again.
Ready when you are, Annie.
Reinitiate virtual tour.
Initiating virtual tour.
And we are live!
Actually, this is pre-recorded.
Hello there! You made it! Welcome to the virtual tour of the University of the Philippines Cebu. I'm Annie, and I am a proud alumna of UP Cebu. And between just you and me, I had the best 4 years here in UP Cebu. I came from the College of Communication, Arts, and Design, where we did not learn only the basics in journalism and other communication components, but they also taught us how to become relevant.
You only have one viewer.
My college is also home to the fabrication laboratory, where people meet and converge to use different equipment where they can fabricate things, stuff for the advancement of industrial and product design. All of this comes from the creativity of the Fine Arts program itself. Hey, Sean, why don't you tell them more about the Fine Arts program?
The Fine Arts program itself, founded in 1975, is the pioneer formal school in the fine arts outside the national capital. The college is also the host to nearly half a century-old annual painting competition, Jose Hoya Awards, in honor of the famous national artist Jose Hoya, and from whom UP Cebu's Jose Hoya Gallery was named after.
As the campus of the premier
Daon na ko pag-usap sa kalibutan tay.
Kabalo ka magbuhat og puso dong?
Dili.
Maglala ka og lukay, magbuhat ka og kasing-kasing, sudlan og kumay, lungagon, tanawa. Murag busog nga dughan. Ug kani makahupay sa kagutom.
Usbo na to ang kalibutan, tay.
Wow!
Gusto nimo, makabot ra gyud nimo. Maningkamot lang gyud ta. Kinahanglan, lig-on gyud ka. Komplikado ang kinabuhi. Makat-on ka sa bisan unsang kasinatian. Hugot lang yun ang pagtuo. Sa ngadto-ngadto, ligunon ka sa panahon. Manggihatagon ka. Ania ang kalibutan. Imo kining tanan.
Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Mona Alcudia. I am the program coordinator for the Fine Arts program of UP Cebu, the manager of Fablab UP Cebu, and I'm also the host for this morning's activities. So once again, I'm here to say good morning to everyone and welcome you all to our celebration and the final leg of National Science and Technology Week 2021 here at UP Cebu. So the National Science and Technology Week is a celebration that highlights the significant contributions of science and technology to national development. So it has since become a platform for holding science and technology advocacy in the country. Held every fourth week of November, aside from webinars, there are also other activities like various awards for basic and applied research, scientific meetings, technical and investment forums, technology demonstrations, and technical tours. For this year, UP Cebu has joined the celebration with 5 activities. So on Wednesday, we look into Agham and learned about the different government-funded researches being conducted in the university, where selected faculty members also shared the results of the research that was part of their dissertation. So yesterday was about Teknolohiya, where UP Cebu and IT shared their work they have done for the innovation ecosystem, and later what UP Cebu High School did for the robotics subjects. Today, we will shift our focus on the creative aspect of how UP Cebu, through its Fab Lab, helped through the discipline through the pandemic. Yes, okay. So for just as a briefer, when we talk about Fab Labs, we're talking about the digital fabrication laboratories, where it is a place to create, to mentor, and to invent, and a place for learning and innovation. So in order to introduce the Fab Lab, specifically Fab Lab UP Cebu, here in today's program, I'd like to call upon our Chancellor for UP Cebu to formally welcome us to today's program. So let me invite Chancellor Attorney Liza D. Coro.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Mona. And good morning to everyone. Thank you for being here again with us today in UP celebration this year of the National Science and Technology Week of the Department of Science and Technology. We are really very happy to let you know our participants are as far from the north and south of the Philippines. We are now on the 3rd day of the 3-day series of knowledge sharing and had and will continue to provide you glimpses on the interesting and useful outputs among the various research initiatives undertaken here at UP Cebu, as generously supported by the Department of Science and Technology, as well as other government agencies like the Department of Trade and Industry and the Commission on Higher Education. And as for those who were here with us since the very start of this NSTW celebration of UP Cebu, on the first day there was research presentations ranging from studies on marine heat waves, black soldier fly for waste management, greenhouse gases emission, and from our niche or NICER project supported by the DOST, which is our Center for Environmental Informatics, or CENVI, among which they presented were the researches on groundwater monitoring, as well as flood monitoring and control. We had also presented on the first day highlights on dissertations of our recently graduated PhDs. Yesterday was a showcase on the online teaching method used in the field of robotics and for immersive technology developed in our very own technology business incubation facility, or UP Cebu in it. And today is a continuation on the showcasing of technology used here to help creative community or creatives community through UP Cebu's fabrication laboratory. Watch and enjoy what all this computer-assisted technology can produce from our 3D printers, CNC milling, CNC laser cutters, among others. I hope you are ready to learn and soak in as much as you can. To our speaker, presenter, reactors, Thank you for your conscious effort to become more involved and responsive to our people's needs. As DOST Secretary Fortunato de la Peña stated in his keynote speech during the opening ceremony of the DOST NSTW 2021 last Monday, science and technology is crucial in addressing the pandemic. And for as long as there is science, there is hope. So you should have seen how the Fablab was there last year at the height of the ECQ in helping out our community. The holding of the NSTW is a determined move of our government to make our people conscious of the role of science and technology in ameliorating the economic and social conditions of our people. This is what Science for Change is all about. This NSTW celebration also serves as an opportunity to recognize the achievers in science and technology. I would like to thank DOST for their push for this NSTW celebration, their commitment to an intensified universal promotion of science. Our science and technology efforts should be directed and integrated for maximum and immediate utilization. This is what DOST refers to as science for the people. The immediate and future impacts of our scientific work, technology work, should be adjusted to the expanding demands of everyday living. Scientific work should be aimed at increasing, expanding, and improving our current conditions, propelling us and our nation forward. As an educational institution, we are tasked to inculcate in our scholars the opportunities and needs in science careers, and we re-examine the status of our professors to improve our teaching quality. Altogether, the promotion of science and technology must be integrated into the broad base of our society, inside and outside of our university. In this age, we cannot expect to keep up with the pace of progress if we cling to ancient concepts and persist in pursuing old practices. You can just imagine how, with the use of a technology, what used to be manufactured or fabricated in a 4-week time can just now be done in a 3-hour time. Watch later on. Be it a scientist or an artist, we should be more outward looking and attentive to the growing needs of our constituents while keeping our ears close to the ground, paying close attention to the latest trends, developments, and issues that affect both the domestic front and the global community. And through this UP Cebu Fablab facility, which is a member of a global Fablab community, we want to show how an educational institution is not just relevant for academic purposes, but even for the community outside, specifically in this instance, the creatives. In closing, I welcome you all again to this last session in UP Cebu's 2021 NSTW celebration. I wish nothing but successes to our scientists, artists, business people to strengthen our economy and the prosperity of our people. Padayon UP Cebu, daghang salamat o according to Yusek Gev, maayong agham sa atuang tanan. Back to you, Mon.
Thank you, Chancellor Carr, for that opening remarks and the very inspiring message here for our Fab Lab. So now we also have another special speaker for today. She is the Undersecretary for Research and Development of the Department of Science and Technology. So she holds a BS Electrical Engineering and MSEE degree from UP Diliman and a PhD from the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Her area of specialization is speech and audio signal processing, time frequency analysis, and synthesis. She served as the first woman dean of the UP College of Engineering and has been the recipient of several awards in engineering and education, including the Metrobank Foundation Search of Outstanding Teachers in the Philippines. So ladies and gentlemen, give a round of virtual applause to Dr. Rowena Cristina Guevara for her special message.
Magandang agham po. I'm quite pleased to be with all of you today as we kick off the nationwide celebration of the National Science and Technology Week, or NSTW 2021, with a regional event led by the University of the Philippines, Cebu. For more than 6 decades, the NSTW has been a platform for our outstanding scientists, researchers, inventors, and innovators to celebrate the role of science and technology in national development. The need for science remains during the pandemic and beyond. This year's theme, Agham at Teknolohiya, Tugon sa Hamon ng Panahon, illustrates the need of the nation to close the gaps in health, nutrition, business, livelihood, transportation, peace and protection through science, technology, and innovation. Since 2020, COVID-19 has challenged government leaders to rethink strategies to maintain safe, healthy, and prosperous communities. It was also a time when other branches of government freely collaborated with DOST in creating new strategies to advance their goals. It is worthy to note that the Philippines, through the DOST, is part of the worldwide network of the United Nations Solidarity Trials for therapeutics and for vaccines, wherein scientific data from each member country is given due credit and significance. Noting the need for readiness in terms of availability and supply of vaccines, we are investing in the establishment of the Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines, or VIP, the country's premier research facility encompassing all areas in the study of viruses and viral diseases for humans, animals, and plants. Through this endeavor, we are hopeful that the Philippines will soon be at par with the rest of the world in vaccine development. We're also pushing for the continuation of the Science for Change program through the Science for Change bill. Given the rapid demand for innovation during the pandemic, the bill aims to address disparity in R&D funding in the regions and lack of R&D in the private sector. The Science for Change bill would allow DOST to build on the milestones achieved by the program since 2016, which includes the funding of 38 niche centers in the regions for R&D spread out in 17 regions, including UP Cebu's Center for Environmental Informatics, or CENV. These NICERs are considered innovation hubs in the region, providing capacity building initiatives throughout the country. Another sub-program, the RD Lead, deployed 42 RD leaders in 16 regions to share their expertise and promote regional development through R&D. For business innovation, the Science for Change sub-program, Collaborative Research and Development to Leverage Philippine Economy, or CRADLE, created fruitful partnerships between private companies and the academe and RDIs. We're also assisting private companies in their R&D efforts through the Business Innovation through Science and Technology, or BIST sub-program. R&D is not a small investment, but it is an investment that provides big returns. Beyond infrastructure and programs, the DOST also invests in human resource. This is the reason why DOST recently launched the S&T Fellows Program, which aims to further capacitate the DOST agencies in fulfilling our vision of providing world-class scientific, technological, and innovative solutions, leading to higher productivity and better quality of life. It has always been the goal of R&D to deliver lasting change for the benefit of the people. COVID-19 may have crossed borders and created new health concerns. The same process can be applied by our Filipino science community by breaking barriers, opening channels of communication to share research, data, and expertise to ultimately defeat the pandemic. I'm glad to share this day to celebrate NSTW with you, and I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincerest gratitude to our Filipino scientists, researchers, engineers, chemists, and project leaders. Thank you for making change happen and equipping the country through your innovations in fighting, surviving, and hopefully soon defeating COVID-19. Maraming salamat at muli magandang agham po sa ating lahat. Department of Science and Technology Secretary for
Thank you. All right. So thank you, Yusek Rowena, for that inspiring message. And now, to kick things off with our program, and who knows the Fab Lab very, very well, I'd like to call upon our very own Dean of the College of Communication Arts and Design, Dean Palmi Petutud, to give us a message about today's program. So I'd like to introduce her first. So Dean Palmi Petutud is a visual artist and educator who continuously explores the possibilities of art and design as platforms for education and awareness on social, political, and cultural discourses. So she has initiated creative endeavors and actively takes part in art and design exhibitions in the Philippines and abroad. So to give her opening remarks, a virtual round of applause for the Dean of CICAD, Dean Palmi Petutud.
Thank you very much, Mona. Secretary Fortunato de la Peña, Undersecretary Rowena Guevara, UP Cebu Chancellor Liza Coro, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, maayong adlaw or maayong agham kanatong tanan. This year's National Science and Technology Week with the theme Agham at Teknolohiya Tugon sa Hamon ng Panahon provided us, the UP Cebu Fablab team, the opportunity to conceptualize, conduct, and present to the public engaging science, technology, and innovation-related initiatives. When the Fabrication Laboratory of UP Cebu opened in 2016, we were very elated to provide our students, the creatives and like-minded individuals, a digital fabrication facility that is meant to be a community resource. While the facility is located inside the campus, slowly we were able to gain traction by conducting workshops and trainings open to the public. Our continuous efforts in connecting with other academic institutions, creative industries, government agencies, and other organizations expanded our community of makers. Last year, at the height of the pandemic, we temporarily ceased operations, but eventually connected with the Fablab network and other maker spaces in Cebu to fabricate PPEs for the frontliners. As we continue to grapple with the effects of the pandemic, the Fab Lab and its partners are resolved to push for more projects beyond the campus environment. And for this year's National Science and Technology Week celebration, we're happy and very inspired to be part of the following projects. Project Kalibutan. This is our move to reach out to more MSME sectors, especially our grassroots artisanal industries. Team Lift is our move to reach out to more startups who need the technical leverage that Fablab offers. For the Fablab's clients like Paul and many others, it's about our dedication to product research and development. And finally, for Project Relic, this is our effort to reach out to the private sectors and NGOs in fostering collaborations and corporate social responsibilities that push for a sustainable future agenda. We recognize the importance of science, technology, and innovation as catalysts in reclaiming the lives and livelihoods of many Filipinos, especially those affected by the pandemic. UP Cebu, especially the Fab Lab, is one with the Department of Science and Technology in all its efforts to address the challenges of the times. We are optimistic that 2022 and beyond will be better for all of us. Maayong agham, Daghang salamat ka natong tanan, and I hope you will enjoy the different videos that you will be seeing about the projects I just mentioned. Once again, daghang salamat.
Okay, thank you very much, Dean Palmy, for that special message. And now is the portion of the program where we are all excited to share with you the different videos which capture our development here at the Fab Lab during the pandemic. In order to introduce to you these different activities that we've been developing here, I'd like to introduce my fellow Fab Lab manager and instructor for the UP Cebu Fine Arts Program, Mr. Fidel Ricafranca, who will introduce us to the various developments here at the Fab Lab, especially during the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic. So Fidel?
Hello and good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for dropping in today. I know you guys are from all around the Philippines, and thank you for sharing this moment with us as we share with you this the various projects that we've been into in the past year. So 2020 sure has been a very rocky year for most of us. I mean, for all of us, perhaps. But in 2021, we are glad to announce to our partners and to all of you guys who would like to avail of FabLab services that we are starting strong this year. And with that, we would like to share our new projects that you guys might want to replicate in your own localities, because this is what the Fab Lab is all about. It's about making a community out of initiatives that you can replicate from anywhere else in the world and into your own localities. But before we go there, we would like to share how we responded to the pandemic last year. So as everyone might have known, over the pandemic, most of us were disrupted. Our lives, our own personal schedules have been turned into a mess. But we makers, we have been called to step up into a global duty of filling in the supply chain disruption due to the COVID-19 lockdowns. And Fablab UP Cebu, together with makers around the world, has responded to this call to cater to the needs of PPE for hospitals around Cebu City. And overall, we were able to provide thousands of PPEs to more than 30 hospitals and health centers in the bigger Cebu island. And with this challenge, we share the prestigious honor of the Forbes Most Disruptive Innovators for 2020. And that belongs to us guys, the makers. So without further ado, let me share this video of our response during the pandemic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fidel, for talking a little bit about our experience here at the Fab Lab during the pandemic and how we were able to respond pretty rapidly to those conditions by helping out and reaching out to different makers here in Cebu, from different government entities to also the different private industries in order to create these PPEs and lift everyone up here through our efforts as makers. And so now shifting gears and looking beyond what we've experienced during the pandemic, we would like to present a series of videos where we document the experiences of 4 different entrepreneurs and makers here at the Fab Lab who, despite the circumstances that were laid upon them, kept creating really interesting endeavors from various fields, whether it is through government projects or a shifting of the kinds of businesses that they're currently doing or pivoting in order to cater to the pandemic. We present 4 select makers here at the Fab Lab, specifically 3DM Board Collective, the Kalibutan Project, Team and Project Relic PH, which we consider quite outstanding projects that were developed here in the span of 1 year. So some of these makers have already been with the Fab Lab even before the pandemic, like the 3DM Board Collective, and some of them started very recently during the pandemic, like Team Lift and Project Relic and Kalibutan Project. So now let me first introduce our first maker that we would like to highlight in these videos. And so this is 3DM Board Collective. So this group is a manufacturer of surfboards, paddleboards, and skimboards. And this video tells a story of how our friend Paul, who is also connected with the furniture industry, went from a very traditional creative industry where everything is handmade and saw the possibilities of the Fab Lab, its various technology, and how he's able to take his experience in the traditional manufacturing setting and create an innovation in terms of producing surfboards with his company. And yeah, so please enjoy our first video with 3DM Board Collective.
I've been making surfboards since 2004. I work for 3DM Board Collective. We're supplying from skimboards, surfboards, paddleboards throughout the country. With different projects here, mostly with surfboards, but when there are other people come around here to assist with the other projects, we also assist. But generally, we use the CNC, the large CNC, because it has this limitations, but we worked with it for the past 3 years, and we're now in an efficient process of producing surfboards. So this is what we call the shaping bay. This is where the rough cuts are being shaped to the exact surfboards. And for everybody's information, the side lamps was also digital fabricated. Even the rack is made in the Fab Lab, cut perfectly to fit everything with the lights and everything. And for the lights, the purpose of these side lights is the contrast of the board. It gives the contrast or the shadow of the board to give an equal curve all throughout the deck and also the bottom. it all started with my father. We usually, with the Fablab, it's also connected, mainly connected to our handicraft with the DTI, our export industry. So it was just one time that my father wasn't able to come to the Fablab and asked me to be here to do some laser engraving for a hotel logo. So I went here for that day. Then from that day on, after 3 years, we're here. So I've worked with the Fablab team since the past 3 years. Then we started with the very basic product development from small items to the surfboard itself. Surfboards are usually made by hand, mostly in the Philippines, by mostly all the shapers. Nobody's trying to venture CNC because first and foremost, there is no real CNC machine for surfboard use. It's just happened that when I visited Fablab, there were all different kinds of makers from different parts of the world had opportunity or had the time to let a basic or an all-around CNC make a surfboard. So over all the years, we have those challenges. So now, on our 3rd year, we're able to produce this CNC-made surfboard with just the deck finish. So as you can see, it's about 60% surfboard. So with that, it cuts a lot of time on making a surfboard. For this size, it's supposed to take about an hour and 30 minutes. Now I could just finish about 40 minutes. So this is the finished product from this rough shape, and it comes to this shape, done in about 40 minutes. So as you can see, our racks are full with surfboards going anywhere in the Philippines, which is, we're trying to fill that demand because with the CNC, we've made efficient production and technically it had lowered our cost. So we could, with our brand, we could offer lower price and more efficient production. So we could really give surfing to a lot of people in the Philippines to make them love surfing. But we did the effort from the Fablab and the whole community. Every board is specifically designed for the purpose of from small wave to big wave. So with the help of digital fabrication, at least we could create a standard model for each wave or each specific of a surfer. Then we could just cut it easily to their specification. So for this board, this goes for a 5 feet plus board for a kid somewhere in Samar. So with digital fabrication also, it gives us opportunity to replicate boards in a much efficient way, so that team riders or professional surfers trying to learn a lot of surfing would not be hesitant to give all their skills, that whenever they break their board, we have the capability of reproducing it in a much efficient, closely to the last board he was using. So with that, the community or the surfers can really push the limits of learning on surfing. It is very important because it helps us manufacturers use this technically very expensive equipments very accessible to us. Then it makes product development easier. Then of course the network of the Fablab helps us a lot with the staff also who knows how to assist us properly in regards from the development to the production until to the marketing of the product. If you're a young designer or about to venture something that you're passionate about, from surfboard to any kind of craft, do it by heart, first of all. That's the main thing. Do it for the community, do it for God, do it for your family. And tap the right people. Fablab, especially Fablab, for me and for the rest of my crew, owes the Fablab, the DTI, the OST for all of this, because with the collaboration of this organization, it makes us makers, builders for much easier network, easier production, efficient manufacturing. To the community, from the surfing to the whole Filipino community, we would like to encourage everyone to support local, buy local products, support local dreams. It changes a lot from the makers to the community.
All right, so once again, that was 3DM Board Collective presenting their innovation of the process of developing surfboards from a very hand shaping method. Paul found his way through the Fab Lab through an invitation from his father and went from making furniture to digital fabricating surfboards. So Paul has been a long time maker here at the Fab Lab, and we are really excited to see the developments that he could produce just by being present around all of these machines. So congratulations to Paul and his team at 3DM Board Collective. So now we are here to introduce our second maker project that was developed in the Fab Lab just fairly recently. And so this is from the team from Kalibutan Project. So just to introduce them a bit, the Kalibutan Project brings together designers, craft businesses, and artisans to exchange different ideas, learn new ways of making, and explore what it means to be a maker and a designer during the pandemic. So 39 small craft businesses work with a team of designers across 4 provinces in the Philippines. And this project is a design and community initiative by Region 7, Department of Trade and Industry, Philippines, with the support from the Design Center of the Philippines and the participation of small craft businesses and product designers from across 4 provinces, led by Creative Director Debbie Palau and Happy Garaje. And I am also happy to mention that I am one of the product designers part of this program, and it's been a really enjoyable process so far. So without further ado, let me introduce the Kalibutan Project.
I currently work at the Cebu Furniture Industries Foundation as marketing and communications, and I am also handling a project with OTOP, the Kalibutan Project 2021, and I work as a visual communication designer.
And I am a fabrication specialist at Happy Garaje, and currently I am working as a product designer for Kalibutan Project, which is under OTOP and DTI.
Actually a project by Design Center of the Philippines and DTI, where they help MSMEs or small businesses around the region, around the Philippines, to kickstart their business and put them in a better direction, because these businesses don't really have the training, the capacity sometimes. But so DTI really helps them be on a level where they can tap exporters, or more clients internationally. So this is a rough description of what OTOP or Project Kalibutan is trying to do. And right now, Project Kalibutan is just within the Region 7. And there are 4 places which are a part of this. So we have 4 teams. And right now, I'm from the Cebu team.
I am currently a product designer and for the Kalibutan Auto project, and I'm also the one in charge in fabricating for our upcoming exhibit for the Cebu Design Week. And Fablab really helped me in expediting the process and making all the things that we need for our exhibit, which is a lot. Like we are making furnitures and not just the small products. And with the CNC and also the laser cutter, I think that we've saved a lot of time, like weeks for this.
During my student life, I was actually one of the first clients of the Fablab. And I did my thesis here, just my prototype for my thesis. So that's when I really got to know Fablab services. And it's been years since that experience, but now I am currently working with OTOP for Project Kalibutan, as I've mentioned, and we are fabricating our items for our upcoming exhibition. So Fablab has really helped me develop, like, let's say for my design in a short amount of time, because if I did this manually, this would take me like hours, but with Fablab, this only took like seconds or minutes. So Fablab's facilities really helps the designer produce these items in a short amount of time and with low cost. So this is my prototype right now, which I did from the digital fabrication of Fablab. So I did this like block printing print, and I put it on my design.
Been working with Fablab since I was in college, and I've done a lot of my plates here. This facility really helped me hone my skills on making and knowing materials itself. Eventually, I became a fan of digital fabrication because of its efficiency, and also it helped me with my project, and it helped, for me personally, I perceive it as a helpful community, not just a machines, but a community for the designers and makers here in Cebu.
All right, so that was the group of makers from Kalibutan project. We had Jabel and Isa constantly coming here in the past month or so in order to build up their exhibition for the Cebu Design Week, which is also happening in Cebu right now. So we're juggling a lot of events. So Cebu Design Week presenting art fair is also where the Kalibutan project is doing their first exhibition of all the products developed during the One Town, One Product development of all these projects. And so we congratulate everyone at the Kalibutan project for, exhibit for their first exhibit during this week. And we look forward to their further developments until the end of the year. And so now we are moving on to highlighting another group of makers here at the Fab Lab, and they're actually geared more towards startups in science and technology, which a lot of you would be quite familiar with, which is more in line with the rest of the presentations so far. And while they also feel like they are makers and they constantly say that we're more like into engineering, etc., and they feel like they lack the creativity, we actually feel like they have one of the most creative projects that have been developed in the Fab Lab so far. So I'd like to introduce the team Lift, who actually very proudly just bagged third place in the recent DICT Philippines Startup Challenge 2021 professional category. And so without further ado, I think they will be introducing themselves in their video. So let me introduce the video for Team Lift.
I'm Jess Cromwell Olavides. I'm a graduate of BS Aircraft Maintenance Technology, and I'm a digital fabricator here at the Fab Lab.
My name is Gabriel Zosa. People call me Boggs. I'm a cybersecurity expert. Used to work with the military as a consultant, and then privately for several projects here in Cebu, startups mostly. And now I'm doing aviation during the lockdown because it's one of the things that I wanted to do in my life. The projects I've done with the Fab Lab thus far are two major ones. The first one was actually for myself, for a bit of fun and creativity during lockdown to keep myself sane. And the next one, something that I didn't expect or anticipate, because I was able to find people here that I could collaborate with. Now we're participating in a national competition and possibly, if we win this competition, represent the Philippines in a regional Asia-Pacific Pitch Fest.
I've been here at the Fab Lab for a year after it opened, and I've rebuilt a 3D printer. But then it spiraled into multiple projects. Right now, I'm currently working on a split keyboard. When lockdown started, I was always using my computer, and then my hands started hurting a lot. And I thought, why not make a custom keyboard that would not make my hands hurt? So I started building the split keyboard here in the Fab Lab. I pulled out my computer, started designing, then here it was. About 3 months ago, I was working on my keyboard, and then Clint told me that there's someone here who wanted to meet me. He said he was interested in what I was building, and I'm like, okay, let's meet.
Hello, my name is Clint Barino, and I am the current resident maker here at the Fab Lab.
Organ aviation was an idea that during lockdown, we would help students study from home. Normally, for other students, it's just a bunch of books and a bunch of modules, but for aviation, that has been very impossible to do. Like, they had to train, they had to fly, they had to do emergency procedures. Things like that are hands-on, one-on-one experiences, things that you can't replicate at home. So
I had a background in aviation and 3D printing. Why not build something that incorporates both? Why not make somewhat of a keyboard that my classmates could use? Because I have classmates that fly, and then one of the problems they've had so far is they couldn't go to the airport much because of lockdown, and they wanted to practice. They wanted to do simulated flight at home, but they didn't have the right tools, the right equipment. So we thought, why not make something that bridges that gap? Why not take the simulator to their homes instead of the other way around? And so there it was, the birth of a really cool idea that I'm really excited to work on.
if I can't make the students go to the airports anymore or to the simulators anymore, why don't I build the simulator and bring it to the students at home? Then came the problem of it's going to be expensive. So I said, okay, it's expensive if you buy it as you usually did before lockdown when everything was already in place, the supply chain was okay. It's become even more so now that during lockdown the supply chain is all screwed up. It's just a mess. Fuels are up, tickets are up, cargoes are up. Nothing has gone low. So I said, okay, I'd have to approach it differently. It's a grassroots kind of approach. Can I build this all locally? Can I build it all in Cebu? Can I build it all here without having to rely on these imported supply chains?
What I really found valuable here is that you can turn your designs into a physical item just right here. You don't have to have complex machineries or send it elsewhere. It's just here in the Fab Lab. You can make prototypes.
So I came here not really knowing what to expect, but I found these 3D printers that we have here. The filaments are very much affordable, and some of them are even made locally. I was even introduced. The Fab Lab even introduced me to some people who recycle these filaments, and then it means to say that okay, so little wastage, and at this juncture, and then I don't have to go import anything. I don't have to import the skill set. I don't have to import the fabrication. The technology itself is just here. The code base you can do anywhere if you have a computer. It's just everything else around that code base is what you need to build on. The code base is now something that I've been building on for the past 10 years of my life, but I've never been able to put something around it, the prototype.
So I guess that's what I like about the Fab Lab. You can build just about anything here.
Many things about the Fab Lab here, especially the people that I've met here, are key to how our success story is currently developing. We really have really high confidence in our success because we've been told already so many times over that we have a big project, we have a patentable project, and Fab Lab has been a very big part of that.
Fab Lab has put me in touch with lots of very brilliant people, and with these machines over here, we were able to build awesome things. And basically, the Fab Lab has given me a lot of insight into fabrication, turning my ideas into a reality.
The Fab Lab really came as a godsend. It's a godsend because with the lockdown that has happened, everything was no longer available that you're used to. And your supply chains around the world doesn't work anymore for you, or it might be just way too expensive for you. Fab Lab gave us an avenue to approach it in a grassroots manner. You can build it here, rapidly prototype everything. If you have a change of your idea, you want to change something, you can do it. And then after all that, it's also about the people that I can meet. Generalists, specialists, it doesn't really matter. Artists or technologists, they all come together. And in this day and age, you can't get enough of that. You can't get enough of that because the world's coming together into something that's almost going to be collaborative. There's nothing specialized anymore in the world. That ideas have gone out the window, especially with the lockdown. Yes, 10 years of my life might have not come to fruition if I had not found people here and met them here at the Fab Lab.
We're pitching this project in PSC 2021. It's the Philippine Startup Challenge hosted by the ICT, and we're excited to be a part of it.
All right, so that was our feature on Team Lift, who at the time when we were shooting, they were still in the process of preparing their pitch for that DICT competition. And once again, we'd like to congratulate them for winning or placing third nationwide out of 25 national finalists for the Philippine Startup Challenge or PSC 2021 professional category. So They, aside from that, they also were awarded Best Video Pitch and Best in Logo Design. And just to highlight the Fab Lab's contribution to this, actually our resident maker, Mr. Clint Barino, is part of the three-man team as shown in the video. And so as third placer, Team Lift has brought home 500,000 grant fund, aside from a lot of other prizes from DICT. So once again, congratulations to all of them. And we look forward to other developments they're having for the prototype that they have built here at the Fab Lab, which we hope would be more than a prototype very, very soon. And so now we move on to the last project that we're highlighting for this morning, which is Project Relic PH. So Project Relic is aims to resolve issues of recycled plastic through design. And so they're all about reducing the need to consume new valuable resources, thereby reducing their carbon footprint. So this team is composed of various architects and designers who are connected with UAP Datu Lapu-Lapu and as a CSR also with the Rotary Club of Cebu. And so, yeah, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Project Relic and how they are using the Fab Lab's Precious Plastic Workshop in order to combat plastic waste and create beautiful designs out of it.
Hi, I'm Architect Badilim Ong of UAP Datu Lapu-Lapu chapter. Right now we're doing Project Relic. It's a CSR agenda of UAP Datu Lapu chapter and Rotary Club Mandaue, Metro Mandaue 2006. So it's basically a design-driven initiative to empower communities to recycle, but we wanted design to really stand out so that people would be encouraged to recycle, not the other way around. UP Fablab is very instrumental in terms of our project or the Project Relic, because not only did they provide the ways and means, they also gave us guidance. They gave us the proper tools, the proper instructions or what to do, or basically even giving us ideas on how to do our project, and even to the extent of connecting us to the different kinds of people in this industry, mainly design and also fabrication.
All right, so those were our friends from Project Relic who have also recently done an installation of their of the different materials that they've developed. And so this installation can be found right now also at the Visayas Art Fair. So it's currently happening this week at the Montebello Hotel. So if you're interested to see the various plastic material developments that they've been developing so far, then we invite everyone to also visit the Visayas Art Fair to see their installation there. So congratulations also to everyone at Project Relic for apparently watching us as we speak. So so that's it for all of the different makers that we'd like to highlight with their different projects that were developed here at the Fab Lab during the pandemic. And while each project is very different from one another, what really holds them together is the spirit of resiliency and how the DIY ethos really got them through the difficulties that we've all experienced during the pandemic. And so by highlighting each of these different makers and how each of them as entrepreneurs, as designers, as advocates for sustainability found their way through the Fab Lab, we hope you can also see how connecting with your local makerspace and really accessing the power of digital fabrication can bring us all forward from the difficulties that we've experienced for the past 2 years. And so with that, we would like to thank everyone for coming this afternoon to our discussion on the Fab Lab. And if you have any questions so far, we'd like to invite you to type down your questions in the chat. And we're opening the floor to any questions that you have so far, whether it's really basic questions about the Fab Lab or anything specific for our highlighted because some of them are present in this Zoom meeting right now. So I know that we have representatives from Project Relic and the Kalibutan project also, and also Team Lift. So if you have any specific questions from those makers, then you are welcome to mention them on the chat. So very briefly, while I think a couple of you are coming up with those questions, I just would like to lay down like what we do exactly here at Fablab UP Cebu. So I've already mentioned how Fablab is short for Fabrication Laboratory. So it's basically a makerspace where you can find public access to digital fabrication machinery like 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC milling. So it's public access. It's not only accessible to the UP Cebu community, but the bigger creative community here in Cebu. And so we are not only just a technology access center, we assist various makers and MSMEs in product innovation through design consultation, digital fabrication, and prototyping, but we are also training providers. So when you come here to the Fab Lab, you don't come here to simply give us your files and we print them out for you. We actually help educate you about digital fabrication. So we give you trainings and workshops for how to use these different machines and at a very basic level on just how to operate the machinery, but also at the higher level. So we give specialized workshops and programming on whether it is digital fabrication for industries like furniture or furniture, fashion, jewelry, architecture, engineering. So we give specialized workshops, hands-on workshops for these different industries. And also for the academe. So whether it is digital fabrication, introducing it through elementary students, high school students, or university students, then approach our Fab Lab if you're interested in teaching these kinds of courses and subjects for your students or your companies. So aside from that, the Fab Lab is also a service bureau where we have the capacity for short-run productions, which gives businesses the ability to market their prototypes. So if you would like to do limited productions of any prototypes that you're developing, then the Fab Lab has the capacity to do that. And but through all these different services that we provide here at the Fab Lab, the main thing that we do is really empowering our people. And when we talk about our people, this is the traditional artisans of the Cebu furniture industry, jewelry, different manufacturing sectors, everyday makers, and tinkerers, so all located here in Cebu. So we give them a platform to experiment and develop different designs beyond traditional manufacturing practices and to nurture a culture of interdisciplinary innovation and education. So here at the Fab Lab, we're all about affordable, accessible, and educational. We're in the business of molding a mindset that when equipped with the right tools, skills, and knowledge, you can make almost anything. Despite the pandemic, has 40 labs already. So maybe your own UP campus would have their own Fab Lab as well. So right now we have one question here in the chat. Do you offer online trainings at the Fab Lab? So right now, so far, we are currently working at limited capacity at the Fab Lab since we are still technically under we're currently experiencing a limited campus lockdown right now, but this because of the easing restrictions, eventually we will be having we hope to have more physical workshops at the Fab Lab soon, especially if the COVID developments will be getting better, especially now that we're at level 2 here at Cebu. In terms of online trainings, right now, if this is something that you would like to propose with us, you can send us an email at the Fab Lab. So I'm going to type it down at the chat below. And so just contact us if you would like to arrange anything between us and your office right now. But really, right now we've really experienced that like it's so much better if we do it physically. So that's a difficulty we've been having at our Fab Lab, where in order to make it's something that's very much a tactile experience. And so, but beyond that, if we need any kind of training, especially with software, then this is something that we could work out with you or your office. So I'm going to send it in the chat right now, our email address. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Roderick, for that question. And aside from that, if you have any more questions, maybe we can entertain one more, but if not, then we can move on to our evaluation reminders. Yes. So, okay, so we have some evaluation reminders from our UP Cebu TLRC. So where if needing e-certificates after this webinar, then please take note of some of these reminders that's being put on the screen right now. So the evaluation and processing of e-certificates is automated. So please make sure to type the correct spelling of your name since this will reflect on the e-certificate. And please be mindful in typing your email address because is where you'll receive your certificates. So we suggest that you keep a copy of your response in the evaluation for you to verify if you made mistakes. So normally it's very quick, just takes 3 minutes for you to receive this certificate. And should you not be able to receive it by 5 p.m. today, just send a reply message with your concern to the confirmation email that we sent. So it's here on the screen, msgalorio@up.edu.ph. And so we will manually send the certificate on the next working day. All right. So the evaluation link is open for only 15 minutes. So, okay, I hope. And so the link right now is being sent to the chat. So please check the chat for the official link. And yeah, we invite everyone to fill out this link right now. Okay, so if you're interested to learn more about the different projects that we've just highlighted, we put down their social media handles on the chat, but just to highlight it once again, if you're interested to learn more about Project Relic and all of their sustainability advocacy through our Precious Plastic Workshop, you can look them up at Project Relic PH. If you're interested to learn more about the Kalibutan project and the DTI OTOP and DCP collaboration with Ms. Debbie Palau and Happy Garaje and different designers all around Region 7, you can look them up at Kalibutan Project. If you would like to buy a surfboard or a skimboard or any of the boards being produced by Paul and his team at 3DM Collective, all produced here at the Fablab, then you can find them at 3DM Collective. And if you want to hear about what's next for Team Lift after winning third place and receiving their grant funding, they currently have no social media set up since it's, very, very recent developments. But they you can contact them through, well, one of them just told me that you can just message us at Fablab UP Cebu, so at Fablab UP Cebu, or also send us an email because Clint, who is part of Team Lift, is also part of Fablab UP Cebu. So yeah, and also you can learn more about their project also through Cebu in IT because they are also very, very important in the incubation of Team Lift. All right, so I think this is it for our presentation of all the different highlighted projects of Fablab UP Cebu. So we'd like to thank all of the makers who participated in an effort to document the really, really fascinating works. And also, we hope that you've enjoyed not only this webinar, but all webinars that were hosted by UP Cebu, the TBI team, all for National Science and Technology Week 2021. So thank you all of you who are present here, not only in the Zoom meeting, but also watching us live on YouTube. Thank you for joining us this morning. And we hope that you are inspired by all the projects presented this entire week and you will continue your own advocacy for science and technology, STEM or STEAM for that matter, especially with involvement of the arts here at the Fab Lab for National Science and Technology Week. So with that, I think we are closing our event with the UP hymn, but we'd like to ask everyone to stay for one final photo op, and then we will be ending the program.
Malayong lupa
Okay, so before we finally end this week's festivities and this morning's webinar, may I ask everyone to please turn on your camera so that we can do one big final photo up to really end things to the bang for National Science and Technology Week. I think someone in our team is in charge of taking the photo. Yeah, okay. So please, everyone, please show us your lovely faces. And so we can do one final photo op for documentation. Okay. So put on your big smiles. If you're putting on a mask, you can take off your mask. So I think someone in the TLRC team may ask for just a confirmation if someone is taking the photo.
I'm taking the photo, Miss Mona.
Thank you. Okay. So
Everyone, we have 2 pages, so smile big, everyone. We don't know what page will fall on, so smile lang. Sige, for the first page. Sige, go. 1, 2, 3, smile. Page 2. Smile, everyone. Thank you.
okay, once again, thank you everyone for joining us in this morning's webinar and to end all for final culminating activity for National Science and Technology Week. Once again, we'd like to thank everyone who made this event possible, of course, through DOST, UP Cebu, Chancellor Coro also for her very instrumental help and really pushing the Fab Lab to be where it is today. So thank you, Chancey, through all of your efforts for the Fab Lab. And everyone at the Fab Lab team and also in CCAD, the TLRC, of course, who is hosting this whole event, and Sir Jason and his team at Cebu in IT. So thank you everyone for making this event possible. And we look forward to the next events, hopefully for next year's National Science and Technology Week. So thank you everyone and have a good morning.